practice. All right, for this lesson, the Starry Night Pumpkins, it's inspired by the artist Vincent van Gogh. I hope you took a look at his painting Starry Night because the style is inspired by his painting. So Van Gogh was an impressionist and he used a lot of texture. But before we go on, when we start a lesson, we read our goals. So normally in class, what I have you do is I have you repeat after me. So even though I can't hear you, you can pretend that I'm right there with you. All right? So repeat after me. I can use line to be expressive. And I can use values to create emphasis, shadows, and highlights. And right here, I can recall, describe, and utilize the elements of art. So now that we read those things, just to go over a couple things for the elements of art. So hopefully you can remember some of the elements of art from last year, but a couple that we're really going to focus on is line and value. Value is how light or dark something is. And line, well, we know that there's different types of line. Let me grab this. We have, there's all sorts of line, and there's different style that you can create artwork by using line. Also, shadows and highlights are emphasized with value. So when you want to create something light or dark, you want to think about shadows and highlights. We'll go over that in just a second. All right, so those are the elements of art that we'll be focusing on. Okay, so what we're going to do is, now by the way, I put the steps in the slideshow, but you are more than welcome to changing it up the way you want your art piece to look like. This is going to be kind of exploring the Van Gogh Starry Night style, but if you have a different approach, if you have a different idea, please feel free to do so. All right, so what we're going to do first is make the grass. So again, if you don't want to draw grass the same way I'm drawing grass, you can draw, oops, you can't even see that, I'm so sorry. Oh, by the way, before we get started, you have to put your name at the bottom of your paper. So I'm going to put Miss Baydoun. Please don't write Miss Baydoun because I have had students do that. I am Miss Baydoun. Oops, sorry, I'm holding the camera. That's why I can't write. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put your teacher's initial. So let's say your teacher's name is, it's like Miss E. So you're going to put an E and circle it. So you're going to put a circle. And then you're going to continue. All right, so I'm going to just draw the grass. You don't have to be perfect. All right, I'm going to continue to. Okay, so now you're going to draw the pumpkins. So I'm going to start with my first one over here. By the way, pumpkins are all different shapes and sizes, so it really doesn't have to be exactly like mine. If you want to draw more pumpkins or just 2 of them, that's fine too. This is just the idea, and you can go away with it however you want. So the way I start drawing a pumpkin, I kind of draw like a curve, and you don't want to draw the bottom because the grass is covering the bottom, but maybe if you want to do that. And then you're going to draw another curve. Again, it does not have to be perfect. If you wanted to make it a little bit wider. And I apologize, it's really hard for me to draw with holding the camera. I uploaded, I use the hover cam to make videos, and I did a ton of videos and they won't upload on Canvas, so that's why I have to do it like this. Okay, then you're going to draw the stem. There's no wrong or right way to do the stem. You could do it however you wish. Then for the second pumpkin, I'm going to follow just the example just to keep the example consistent. But again, if you want to draw pumpkins all like this or whatever pumpkin you like, you can go ahead and do that. This one's kind of oblong. Or actually, this is more of a squash, I think. And then also, if you want to draw those like viney things coming out of the stem, it's kind of like a loop. And then wait, we'll erase that a little bit so it can overlap. You can draw leaves, whatever you wish. Then I'm going to just draw another pumpkin over here. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you need a black crayon, and this is where you're going to create your shadows. So you are going to kind of like outline, but also shade a little bit, like creating some shadows with the black. And again, I apologize for this quality. I had a much longer, nicer video, and it would not work, but that's okay. So you can create shadows like this. You can just kind of like add little shadows on your grass, and you could do the same thing with your pumpkin. So if you know how pumpkins have like those creases? Now, because my hand, I messed up a little bit, that's okay. I can just erase it, and that will be my new line. So you can add like kind of shadows like this, just a little bit. I love this project because there's a lot of texture in this style. Now, by the way, you were supposed to, I would have just completed the grass first because I'm showing an example and I don't have much time on my phone. This is just how I'm showing you because I want to show you the pumpkin and that. Okay, so it looks like I'm jumping way ahead, but don't worry. So I just kind of want to show you this is how it should look. Don't be afraid to add leaves, vines, however you want to do this and make this look a bit more extra, go ahead. Now, as for coloring, and by the way, this is a video, so if you need to pause it, pause it. So when you get to the coloring part, pumpkins are different shades of orange, so I like to get out some orange, some yellow, even if you have like a brown, if you want to do that, even some green. Okay, the more colors you add for light and dark, the more value you're going to have, and you want to think about those highlights and shadow. So like over here on this squash, I wanted this part to be lighter, so I put a lot of yellow and orange. Now, this is how we're going to do this. So Van Gogh, the way he painted Starry Night, he had dashes. So he had dashed lines. And it must have taken him hours to do this, but that's why just take your time with this. It is really fun when you're doing this because it's kind of a bit of a stress relief. It's just adding dashes. It's not coloring it straight away. So I'll show you over here. I'm going to just take this like lighter orange. You can start from the bottom or from the top. Okay, maybe if I just keep my hand steady. You're just adding dashes over dashes. You can overlap the dashes. You can just do one dash like this in one stroke like that. Also, I do advise that you go in the direction of the pumpkin. So if I'm doing dashes like this, I'm not going up and down. If I was going up and down, you would get the illusion, basically you want the illusion of the shape of the pumpkin. I love overlapping colors with crayons, and I know you might think, oh, it's just crayons, but actually you could do so much with crayons. I love using crayons. You can never really get tired of crayons. So you can just keep going with that. You don't have to have it the same type of orange if you want it to go darker, lighter, if you want to keep it one type of orange. This is a red orange. I feel like I want a darker orange toward the bottom. Now for the background. Okay, so here's the idea. I'm going to show you step by step how I did the background. So it's super easy. All you have to do, you take yellow and you're going to color in some sporadic dots. Okay, these are the stars. Get it? Starry night. And then you're going to take orange and you're going to give the impression that they're shining bright in the sky. But again, still going with those dashes. Very simple lines. Okay, and then you're going to take blue. And again, since we use different shades of orange for the pumpkin, we're also going to use different shades of blue. You can also add in a white too to blend. Okay, then have you seen like cartoons where they're showing you wind blowing in the air? It's kind of the same thing with the Starry Night. So what I like to do is start with making the direction of the wind like that. Keep going. Again, you can overlap. The less white spaces, the better. If you wanted to keep it more simple and not drive yourself crazy, if you think it's too much, you can make it more simple. It's okay. It's your own interpretation. As long as you're trying this texture style. And by the way, I keep saying texture. I did not explain it yet. So texture in artwork gives you the impression of how something feels, even though you can't really feel it. So if you looked at a painting and it kind of, and you see like these dashes, it looks like it's kind of rough, but it doesn't feel that way. It's just paint. It's probably feels really smooth if you were to touch the painting, but your eye can see the texture of what it might feel. Okay, so when it's done, it should look super, I mean, it really looks beautiful at the end. Oh, also the grass, I did not talk about the grass. Use yellow, I used yellow, green, light green. I use a light green too, I had it somewhere. I use a light green, oops. So when you are done, please upload it onto Canvas. What you do is you go to assignments and you'll find where you upload this this project, and I would love to see. I can't wait. All right, I hope this helped. Thank you so much.